Hey folks, welcome back. I've got some progress to update you on Angron. I've finished off a lot of the detail work and getting really close to getting the undercoats and stuff on. So I'll just quickly take you through what I've been working on this week. Firstly, my brass etched panels came in from Forge World. I got the pre-heresy World Eaters ones, and I've started using them to flesh out the detail a little bit more on Angron's armour. So you'll see down here on the knee pad, I've put one of the emblems there. I've put some of the lightning bolt parts on his left greaves. I've also been working on new chain axes for him. So these are made out of a combination of a few different parts. There's some bits from some Blood Angels, some bits from Chaos Warriors, but mostly it's the Forge World resin chain axes, which I've cut apart and put back together to make them sort of 1.5 or 2 times bigger than the regular marine scale ones. Because Angron in the books, his weapons are quite big and quite hard for Khan to wield in single hand, so I needed to bulk them up a little bit. I've used a lot of jeweler's chain from Gale Force 9 just to add those chains around the wrists. And you see that this other chain axe again, it's been built up, but there's quite a lot of parts from the Forge World Zuffa model. I originally got that model from one of Hazard Syndrome's competitions, and that was sort of the armature I've used to sculpt all the armour and everything on top of. So as you see on the back, most of the armour work has been done with green stuff, and then I've used rivets made out of plastic rods. I've increased the size of the pistol holster by again about a factor of 1/2 to show his plasma pistol there. The holster's sort of chained to his waist. And then this sort of upper armour work, I'd originally done it in green stuff, but I wasn't quite happy with the proportions and with the edges, so I couldn't quite get nice sharp crisp edges. So I've gone back through and built that up in layers of plasticard, and then I'm not sure how much you can see on this top here, but it's got this sort of swirl pattern like on the Forge World model, and I've bulked out some of the elbow joins and cabling and everything under the arms. The head is from the Lord Zuffa model, which I've then just added a whole bunch of cables and stuff on the back. And then I've done some sculpting work to build the foundation of the fur cape where it meets the top. Now, because of the size of the cloak, which is going on the back, what I'm going to have to do when I start painting this is to undercoat the whole model and then paint this rear section in here fully from start to finish, give it a quick whack of varnish, as well as painting the inside of the cape here. Once those are fully painted, then I can attach the cape, which I'll show you in a second. So once the areas which are going to be covered by the cape have been painted, then I can glue the cape in place and merge this join a little bit better with some green stuff. And then, as you can see on the back of the cape here, if I just change the angle slightly, the whole cape's been green stuffed with a fur texture. Now I used some fur texture plates from Mask Mini to get this sort of nice fur pattern on there, and it also covers up the joins where these chains and skulls meet the back of the cape. So this fur pattern will be sculpted right up over the top around the shoulders to where the little skulls on the front form the sort of clasps, and that will blend in and cover all these joins, which are a little bit loose at the moment, but that's just because everything is glue tacked in place. So once all the fur trim and everything's been finished off on the cape will then get painted, so undercoated and painted up, and then I'll attach the backpack to the back. Now I know the Forge World model doesn't have a power pack for its armour, but for my one I want them to have a bit of power on there. You'll see that this backpack's built out of 2 regular Space Marine backpacks, again to give it that bulk, and then there's some green stuff work to add some extra cables and things like that. Now once the backpack's on and painted, then we can attach the final parts, which are the shoulder guards, which I'll have on there in a second. So originally these shoulder guards were from Maxi Mini, but I've bulked them out with quite a lot of plastic card and plastic rods to increase the size of them and get them on one flat even plane. And then as you can see when I spin this around, and if I can get, there we go, get the focus in there, I've added a row of rivets around the top, and there's a nice sort of thin bead of plastic card around to form the edges on the side. Everything's been smoothed off with green stuff and liquid green stuff, and then I've added some more brass etch on the top and used some liquid green stuff to get in underneath, just to blend the transition between the brass edge and the shoulder pad under it. You see on the other side I've got a nice big teeth motif. So yeah, as you can see, everything's just kind of glue tacked on there at the moment while I'm working on everything. But I'll show you the top of the head, and this is all the power cables. All the power cables in behind there to show the butcher's nails. So to give you a size comparison, this is Angron next to one of my regular world eaters. So you see that he's a good head and shoulders taller, and if we show the axes side by side, Angron's axe is about twice the size as the one on the world eater, which is the sort of ratio that I was looking for. So there's still a little bit of detail work to be done, but I'm getting really close to the stage where I can start getting some paint on them. I'm going to look at some tutorials and some videos which some of you guys have put up on your Forge World Angron models, just so I can get the brass work and that sort of stuff done right. So the leather straps hanging underneath the armours, each one's been sculpted out of green stuff, and then it's got rivets made from parts from a water filter, and then I've just added on little triangles of plastic cards. So there's a little bit of trimming and sanding I need to do on those just to get them nice and smooth, but you see it's sort of covering up the shoulder detail, but I've got a little bit of extra piping and stuff to do in there just to sort of fill those void spaces. Now I know my armour is not exactly the same as the Forge World model, but I wanted something which would look just sort of a little bit heftier and bulkier. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I'm hoping to have it finished in a couple of weeks in time for a tournament that I have coming up, and if possible in time for Hazard Syndrome's competition. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy taking a look at this Angron sculpt. I've been working on it for probably 2 or 3 months now in my spare time, and give me some feedback on the new intro for the video. Cheers guys, thanks for watching, and please keep commenting, liking and subscribing.